So I'm recording on my phone because my camera is utter rubbish, but it is max out week, so week 4. Yeah, I got some pretty good numbers coming up, so yeah, I will be explaining how I got so strong in the time that I have, especially with the injuries, because I've had a shoulder injury, I've had a hip flexor injury. I've had those kinds of injuries within a year. So hopefully no more injuries from now on because I, warm up properly and, stuff like that. So in today's video, I'll be talking about how I got, to the stage I'm at. So the main reason is I didn't give up because, there are some people that, give up and, think, oh no, I just don't want to continue this anymore because, my back hurts. In which it's you have to find people that will actually help you. So like, physios, because regardless of, the injury you have, there's always a solution on how to make it better. Especially if it's not like anything severe, because I don't think I've had any like proper severe injuries because they've all been sorted within like a couple months. So, I haven't broken anything. I haven't fucked up my tendons. So, it's just, continuing doing what I'm doing and, keep getting better every day. And that's what I kind of aim for. That's literally what I do. Hence my channel called Willpower. So, I never quit. And then second of all is like structuring my programs. So I've multiple videos on programs. Go check them out because it gets me views and, might help my channel. But when it comes to my strength, it's just like the structure of how I've, lifted and how it's like, because I've done multiple different programs and this one that I follow mainly just does it properly. And of course, I'll adapt it in the future because, you never know. I might be lighter, I might be heavier, these kinds of things. When I get older, my recovery will be a lot slower. So I'll have to adapt it to that. So it's like adapting to your own circumstances and, making a program that suits you because, my program's suited to me, it's not suited to you. You just need to find what works for you because, again, I'm not you. I have a different body structure, different genetics, stuff like that. So you just need to find what works for you, which is what I think a lot of people struggle with anyway. So just find what works for you in terms of workouts. If you want to get stronger, if you want to get bigger, just look at my videos on programs. I kind of explain why I think this way. And, I go through everything. And yeah, you can add on to it or take away things. So, but yeah, and then the third thing is, just like the types of exercises I do. So the types of exercises that I do for strength. So like pause squats for squats, because my hip flexor injury came from being in the bottom position. And, definitely when it came to my depth, I needed, like squat shoes and stuff to help me get there. So by doing pause squats, I'm able to feel more comfortable in the bottom position. And if you're feeling like you're dropping your squats or like you're just going straight down and, slut dropping it, I definitely suggest, doing like tempo squats or something like that because, it helps. With bench, if you're struggling with mainly your upper body, there's like Larsen press, which is basically just no leg drive whatsoever, which most people do anyway. So yeah, and then just like regular bench. So like, you just pause for 1 second, then you push back up, because a lot of people like myself used to just, bang, just rep them out like nothing. And when it came to my injury, I thought I'll do it properly this time and make it official. So, help myself and, get to where I want to be. And then I have like tempo bench, so like I go down slowly, then power up. I think that's really what's helped with my leg drive problem and also my ass problem. So like, you know, I lift my ass off the bench and stuff. So it keeps my structure in place, but also, you know, it makes me stronger because I'm literally holding that tension for so long, and it'll translate to you know, just normal bench and just like going through it all. And yeah, when it comes to deadlifts, I don't really do much for deadlifts other than like, you know, rows. So like I do Pendlay rows, primarily because I find them way better for deadlifts, because to get all that tension and then pull it up to like your chest. So basically you're bent over and you're pulling to your chest. So I'll probably put a video of it right here. So I like I'm bent over, pulling it to my chest. I'm getting that, you know, power straight into, you know, my body. And then there's like RDLs, which also help, you know, hamstring strength and everything. And then there's like stiff leg deadlifts, like if you're really struggling with hamstring strength or something like that. And pause deadlifts, you know, I've done pause deadlifts before. It was when I was like, you know, not doing very well on deadlifts. I was stuck at 220 for a year. And now I'm at like 250. So, and we'll see what happens through these like 2 months, because, you know, I'm going to be going up. I'm going to be, you know, trying my best to, you know, get somewhere. So, yeah, it's all in, you know, time and everything, and putting the right exercises in place. Like I tend to find my tricep strength is can be a limiter on bench as well. So I do a lot of skull crushers, and to help with my like shoulders, I do like incline press to increase the bench volume. And with deadlifts, it's kind of like you're doing a heavy movement anyway. And I only deadlift once a week, and then I do RDLs on leg day. So it's kind of like goes hand in hand. But anyway, that's really what I've done to get as strong as I can really get. I know I'm not the strongest in the world. I know I'm by far not the strongest in the world. But I've definitely bounced back from injuries and bounced back from, you know, being at plateaus for so long. And it's through that determination and through putting in those exercises in place and through a program that I was able to even get to where I am. And if you're genuinely wanting to get bigger and stronger, I definitely recommend, you know, looking at my videos and possibly copying my program. I'm not very fussed, you know, and because what's worked for me doesn't always work for you. You know, you can adapt it to however you want, because the secret to getting big really is to get strong. I thoroughly believe that, because I've seen some really good powerlifters and they're like massive. It's like this 23-year-old named William. He has like some Nigerian name. He's a Team GB, I believe. But he's wow. Like fucking hell. He's lean and he's a cut machine. And yeah, he looks brilliant, Jesus. And then, you know, there's Ronnie Coleman's example, you know, when he was natural. We don't know if he was natural. He could be talking shit. We don't know. But he was doing powerlifting before he did like bodybuilding and stuff. So, you know, with powerlifting, I feel like the more you get into it, the more you like power build, even though it's powerlifting really, trying to get bigger, stronger muscles, the easier it'll be to put on, you know, muscle, put on stuff on your frame. Because me and my friend have done power lifting, power building, supposedly, for a while now. And I'd say we got pretty much the one of the best physiques in our gym. I'm not saying like, you know, in other gyms I get humbled, but you know, when it comes to my gym, which is just a local gym, I definitely say through powerlifting, getting stronger, and, you know, putting exercise in place, the best physiques are made by that, and, you know, putting those things in place, and, you know, stuff like that. But anyway, we'll get straight into the video, because I'm pretty sure you're wanting to know, what the fuck did you do, even though you've been posting reels with your, you know, maxes out? So you get to see the full video. So welcome to Max Out Week, and we shall get into the video. So starting off with 210 for 3. So yeah, this felt pretty good, to be honest. Way better than I thought it would. Felt very easy. I could have done 212, but I really wanted to get 210 under my belt, and yeah, it honestly felt brilliant. So I think the next like couple months, well, not months, couple weeks, I will be attempting a double on 220. So hopefully that goes well, and yeah, I honestly can't wait because squat's been going very well, and yeah, I'm very very proud of myself. I've managed to bounce back from the injuries I've had, so we'll have to see what the 220 says, and yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how I do, and yeah, it certainly will be a sight to behold after all, because I think it was on my doubles that I injured my hip flexor last year. So yeah, it's coming back, baby. It's coming back. So and we'll have to see when it comes to the singles, because you never know. It might be 230, 240. So yeah, it might be in those regions. So I'll be very very happy with those. Now on to bench. So 125. No, nothing really like breathtaking, but it's definitely a PR post shoulder injury. So I think my max on doubles might be 132, and then because when I'm thinking about doubles, this felt pretty good, but just had like certain things like my strength, of course, because I would think I was so used to being stronger on bench, and it's kind of like depressing now that I have to stick around these bits, but it all comes with due time, because after all, I've injured myself on squat and bench, so it just comes with time and technique. So we'll just have to wait and see, because when it comes to bouncing back, I certainly have the skills. So, but anyway, onto incline press. Doing a couple bits. Did 90 this time. Did it fairly easy. So even that's going up. So that's a good sign. And not much pain in the shoulder. So I think a lot of my problems with certain compounds are going away for now, hopefully. Doesn't mean they won't get re-injured, because there's always a odd chance of that, and we gotta stay focused, and think what's the best route, what's the best thing I can do in this situation. So, and in this situation, just keep benching, just see how it goes, and we'll get to the 220 bench eventually, and hopefully a squat of 350 plus. So that's what I'm hoping. Well, in the distant future, let's just say. Now to flies, trying to build up that bird chest I have, because no one really likes a bird chest. We all want them big titty pillows, because if you're chronically single, just make your own. Let's be honest. And in this case, I'm making my own, because, nothing hurts more than having a bird chest and being viciously single. So you might as well have one, and that is a massive chest. So, yeah, just doing, average, flies. Nothing really like immense with flies. It's just like hypertrophy exercise, so you just do as many until failure. But yeah, that's literally how I roll. I'd go everything until failure, unless it's like a strength movement. So like incline press, bench, squat, stuff like that. I don't really go to failure on those, because it's not really worth it. And yeah, all's going well on this day. So what can I say? And next we'll be going on to like triceps. So I'll be doing push downs, which I'll safely say on these stacks is incredibly easy because, you know, it's not really a challenge anymore because, you know, I can full stack these things. And then I went on to like tricep extensions, so like using one arm to the side and trying to get that, you know, lateral head. I don't know if it's the lower head. Yeah, it is the lower head of the tricep. So yeah, with all that being said, that's pretty much the workout because, you know, did push downs, did extensions, then I posed for a bit, you know, trying to you know, see how I look, see if there's any weaknesses, which I think I'm at the point where my arms are big enough to the point where I think my you know, forearms are getting out of like, you know, proportion. So just trying to like thicken them up because I think my forearms are fairly flat in a way, and you know, I need to just like try and bulk them out a bit. And yeah, I mean, the physique's come a long way, my strength's come a long way. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. So very grateful for this you know, opportunity and stuff. But next we'll be going on to, you know, pull day. So enjoy. So pull day, starting off with 230 deadlift for free. This was probably like my hardest, like, you know, out of the free lifts to do. I mean, it's pretty good, but I would have liked it to be a lot, you know, quicker. But I knew I definitely had it in me, especially when I, you know, I couldn't deadlift on like 4 weeks ago. You know, like I just didn't know what was going on. So yeah, I'm very happy with the results. So yeah, got 230, and then I ended it off with like 185. You know, nothing really, you know, special, but you know, it's to be expected when you do your, you know, your back offsets and everything. So yeah, very successful week. So we'll be going on to doubles in the next week. So that'll be very fun. And yeah, we'll see what we'll manage to achieve. But now we're on Penley Rose. You know, got to 120 on there. So definitely going up in the Penley Row department and getting stronger on that, which inherently helps with, you know, deadlifts and stuff. So very happy with that. And yeah, nothing really to complain about in this week because, you know, stuff's looking good. Physique's getting there. You know, what's not to love? Now onto lat pull downs. You know, just trying to get those lower lats because I tend to find you know, my shoulders and back are probably like two of my best parts, I'd say, because I'm very shoulder dominant, but also when it comes to lats, I find it easy to activate, and I have a, you know, shit mind muscle connection with like my traps and stuff. So I think in future I'll be trying to, you know, do traps first and then move on to lats because, you know, yes, I want that like width and stuff a bit more, but yet again, I think my thickness needs to come out as well. So by, you know, doing like, let's say rows first and then going on to lat pull downs and then lat pullovers, it might just, you know, help with that. So but yeah, lats are looking okay. They just need a bit more work and stuff. But yet again, can't change my genetics. I just need to work as hard as possible. But now onto traps, which with rows. And yeah, I like this grip that I have right here. It's just like, you know, I don't know, neutral grip, neutral wide grip, and yeah, I did like a little drop set at the end, so like try and like increase the intensity. But yeah, when it comes to like traps, I do find it very difficult to, you know, activate them in a way. But I think with time, I've, you know, made it a lot better, and you know, hopefully, in due time, it and my traps will start to thicken out, and you know, make my back look a lot better. Because I don't know, something off about my back, but I don't know if that's just like, you know, body fat or, you know, something like that. But you know, it's to be expected. But in all due course, you know, everything's looking okay. And then we'll be going on to lat pullovers, which I'll be sharing a cable with Mr. Piss Stain himself. I mean, what a guy, you know, doing some very unique exercises like, you know, TNF, you know, chest fly or something, where you like face the cable and you lay back and then you just basically put your arms above your head. Me personally, you know, I don't know what to think of that, but you know, if it works, it works. I mean, it might not work for me, it might not work for you, but you know, you can always try, you know, these work things. So, but lat pullovers, it wasn't really great because I don't really like the bar, and I was like full stacking the machine. Because that's the thing with this gym, I can be very limited by the weights that are on, you know, things, because with certain exercises you can go 10 times heavier than some things because it's not really that much weight, to be honest. So, you know, but anyway, biceps, starting off with, you know, bicep curls, you know, on the cables, you know, just trying to fatigue the biceps before anything. So like preach curls, I'd be doing them afterwards. It's just like a way of not only, you know, a bit more intensity when it comes to preach curls and helping it out, but also because there is a rarity of, you know, double cables in this gym. So I take my chances. But yeah, after this, you know, preach curls, hammer curls, then a bit of posing. So yeah, I think my biceps have, you know, been a lot longer than my, you know, back. But yet again, when it comes to my back, I think I'm fairly okay in, you know, the aesthetics department. But I think everything just needs a bit of improvement, to be honest. But I gotta do it in a healthy way, not doing it in an unhealthy way, because that'll just fuck me up. So always criticize yourself in healthy ways. Don't try and put yourself down. But anyway, that's all I've got for today and me talking. So you get to enjoy the rest of the video with mild music and, you know, just looking at my physique and the exercise I do. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video.